Yeah, it was. And tell me if you saw it from your vantage point in the seats the same way I did. So it looked to me early in game one and then late in game two that, everybody uses the word tight, right? Or used to use the word tight when it came to Ole Miss and postseason baseball. That was Oklahoma. Oklahoma made mistakes early in game one that helped Ole Miss get an early lead and then blow them out in game one. And then that was the difference in yesterday's game. Oklahoma made those kind of mistakes in pressure situations, and Ole Miss largely did not, and that was the difference. That's just another thing among the 100 things we have to talk about. But it looked like yesterday and Saturday, one of those two teams was prepared and comfortable in the moment, and another one of those teams was not. Did it look the same to you?
So I don't want to overplay or be like a victim of the moment or a prisoner of the moment. But I'm telling you, guys, I've been to a lot of sporting events. There is no college football game outside of like Alabama 2014 in Oxford, LSU 2003 in Oxford. I've not been to an Ole Miss sporting event where I thought the crowd was as intense and as engaged as it was on Saturday night. I don't want to – I'm not sure it's fair to say about Oklahoma that the stage was too big for them. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that does justice to how good a baseball team they are. But that stage got to them. When Ole Miss put pressure on them in the top of the first inning, I mean, what, you have Bench go 0-2, and then he gets a base hit. Then Gonzalez is out, and then Elko gets a hit, and what is it, Graham that hits the ball to the shortstop, should be a routine play, and he just boots it. Had some topspin on it, but that was the third error of the year for Oklahoma shortstop. He's the first-team All-American shortstop in all of college baseball. He's supposed to make that play. Your point about the end of yesterday's game, man, Horton was so good for so long, and they love their closer. I mean, Oklahoma's deal with its pitchers was three of them, right? I mean, the guy they threw on Saturday, the guy they started yesterday, and then the guy at the end of the game, and he just had trouble. I'll be honest, it was hard for me to see exactly what those pitches were doing that turned into wild pitches that allowed the two runs to score from where I was sitting. You guys had a better view of that watching it.
The one that took the lead was a classic cross-up. So catcher thought it was a fastball high. He went up, ball just dipped down in front of him and went past him.
It's incredible. And how about some guys rise into the occasion, right? So on Saturday night, it was the back-to-back-to-back home runs, and T.J. McCant's part of the mix. And then I think Haydad asked me about Keys. What was it? We were back on, I guess it was kind of at the start of the College World Series, or maybe it was on Thursday, where he was like, Keys for Ole Miss. And we talked about Tim Elko. And I said, Jacob Gonzalez has got to get going. And he didn't, right? He kept not getting going until yesterday. And nobody's going to remember the fact that he was pretty bad in the College World Series defensively and at the plate. They're going to remember that home run that he hit to make it 1-0 yesterday that looked so good off the bat. It was pretty incredible, man. It's pretty incredible to be there. That scene, I know it's comparable to what we saw a year ago, the way that Mississippi State fans kind of took over Omaha. It was absolutely that again this year. Red and blue everywhere. People have kind of kicked around, what was the breakdown in the crowd? Was it 90-10? Was it 80-20? I don't know what it was. I do know that it was absolutely overwhelming, and it was never more evident than when the stadium tried to empty post-game yesterday. So they're doing the post-game trophy stuff. Every Ole Miss fan has stayed. You can see a couple of pockets where either local Omaha people or Oklahoma fans have cleared out, and you were still probably 22,000 people inside the stadium. It was incredible.
It sounded incredible, too. The most evident, I thought, was after the third home run of the back-to-back-to-back jacks, and they panned to the outfield sections. And if you didn't know better, you'd have thought that's right field at Swayze.
Hey, Dad, can you even be on board with drinks flying in the outfield when it's a home run in the College World Series? I know you're generally anti that.
I mean, how much are those beers? Think about how much money's being wasted in this economy.
Can I tell you, with the amount of money that was spent and wasted in Omaha, Nebraska this weekend, we're not going to worry about what that cost. I would say if ever there was a time where it actually made sense, that's probably the time you celebrate. Here's the funny thing, Borky. So you talk about them panning and seeing that in the outfield. After the third home run, I just kind of looked around the stadium. There were like 4 cups flying into the air directly behind home plate. And I was like, oh, that's a new look. I've not seen that before. It was just celebrate wherever you are in that moment.